The royal palace of Dubai shimmered beneath the morning sun, its golden domes reflecting a brilliance that matched the name of the man who lived within, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum, known to the world as Fazza, the crown prince, the poet, the man with a smile that lit hearts across the globe. But that morning, behind the silence of his private garden, Sheikh Hamdan sat alone. No cameras, no royal guards nearby, only the whisper of the wind and the sound of his heartbeat echoing in the emptiness. His eyes, always bright and full of life, were filled with something no one had ever seen before: tears. For years, the world had seen him as the perfect prince, strong, poetic, graceful. He inspired millions with his words about love, nature, and destiny. But few knew that behind the crown, behind every smile he shared, lived a man who carried the weight of promises never fulfilled. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small silver locket, old, scratched but carefully protected. Inside was a faded photograph of a woman whose eyes seemed to hold both heaven and heartbreak. Her name was Layla. Layla wasn't from royalty. She wasn't from wealth. She was a poet too, a quiet soul who once walked the same dunes he loved. Years ago, before the world knew him as Fazza, they met under the desert moonlight during a poetry gathering. Her words touched his soul in a way nothing else ever had. "Do you believe the moon cries too?" she had asked that night. He had laughed softly. "Only when it sees two hearts drift apart." Those words haunted him now. A knock came at the garden door. "Your Highness, the council awaits," said a voice. Hamdan didn't answer. He closed the locket and whispered, "Not today." He rose slowly, walking toward the small fountain in the center of the garden. The water reflected his face, the prince, the poet, the leader. And yet, all he could see was the man who had lost something he could never replace. Layla had left years ago. No goodbye, no letter, just silence. The reason? He never truly knew. Some said her family had moved away. Others whispered it was because the royal world was too harsh for a woman like her. But last night, while scrolling through his old poems, he found something, an old draft written in Layla's handwriting. Hidden between the pages of his notebook, it read, "You belong to the world, Hamdan. I can't ask you to belong to me." That was when the tears had begun. For a moment, Sheikh Hamdan let himself feel everything he had buried beneath duty and destiny, the loneliness of power, the silence of unspoken love, the ache of letting go. A white falcon swooped down and landed beside him, watching quietly. He smiled through the tears. The falcon, his loyal companion, had been with him through every journey. "You know, old friend," he murmured, "sometimes the heart doesn't break in battle or loss. It breaks in silence." The wind blew gently through the trees, carrying the faint scent of desert roses. That night, the royal palace of Dubai was bathed in silver moonlight. Sheikh Hamdan stood on his balcony, gazing at the city that never truly slept. Below, cars sparkled like moving stars, and the gentle hum of the night mixed with the faint sound of the sea. He had spent the entire day trying to forget what he had read. Layla's note, hidden inside his old poetry book. But her words refused to leave him. "You belong to the world, Hamdan. I can't ask you to belong to me." Every line echoed like a melody of heartbreak. He opened his phone and scrolled through his old poetry account. one he used before becoming crown prince, when he was simply Fazza, the poet of hearts. His poems had always carried pieces of Layla, hidden between metaphors and dunes of silence. Then something caught his eye. A new message from a profile named El Al-Noor. The message was short, yet powerful. Even the moon cries when the falcon forgets how to fly. His heart froze. That was their line, the one they had created together under the stars years ago. "Layla," he whispered, almost afraid to hope. For the first time in years, Sheikh Hamdan felt something inside him awaken, a spark of the past, a tremor of emotions long buried beneath duty. He replied simply, "Some falcons never forget. They just wait for the right sky." Minutes felt like hours. He waited, staring at the screen. Then came the reply. "If that's true, then meet me where it all began. Tomorrow, at dawn." His heart raced. The desert, the place of their first meeting. Could it really be her? Or was this a cruel trick by someone who knew too much? But deep down, something told him it was her. At dawn, Sheikh Hamdan drove out alone. No guards, no convoy, no attention. Just the open desert stretching endlessly before him. The cool morning air brushed against his face as memories flooded back. Laughter, poems, dreams, and promises whispered beneath the stars. When he reached the old dune where they had met, the sun was just beginning to rise. Golden light spilled across the sands, painting everything in shades of warmth and memory. And there she was. Layla stood near the edge of the dune, her long hair caught in the wind, her eyes reflecting the same light he once fell in love with. Time had changed her, but not the soul in her eyes. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence was sacred. Then Layla said softly, "You still remember this place?" He nodded. "How could I forget? It's where I found my poetry and lost my heart." Tears shimmered in her eyes. "I didn't want to leave Hamdan, but I had no choice. My family was threatened because of me, because of us. They said our love would bring dishonor if it became public." He stepped closer. "You should have told me." "I couldn't," she whispered. "You were meant for something greater. I couldn't let my presence destroy what you were destined to be." The pain in his chest deepened. "Destiny without love feels empty, Layla."